I'm Jim Leahy. I'm Head of Network Innovation and Consultancy with the Department of Public Expenditure. I'm in the Office of the OGCIO. My main task for the last couple of years is building new technology for public safety and disaster relief. Here this week we're demonstrating how modern technology can help the PPDR agencies get from where they were with the likes of Tetra technology, which is very good, but doesn't have the visualization that what we're trying to show them, because we're moving into an age when everyone has mobile phones in their hand, and why should our PPDR agencies not have that? This morning we emulated the fact that we had lost all communications in the area. We had an LTE node, and on that node we emulated a Tetra base station by having group calling on a conference bridge, so that all of the users as they attached got messages saying they were after getting attached, and then we're able to dial into a conference bridge so each of the agencies can have their own talk groups. This is the first time that this has been done in Ireland, and I believe anywhere in Europe. We created a bubble around a piece of equipment from Eutelsat OneWeb. That allowed us low latency connectivity from here back to Dublin where our core is. Normally you would have an MCX core there, and we pinged that, got 160 milliseconds, which is the same as I speak to you and you come back to me. That is well within the standards of Tetra for my speaking to being heard, right, which is 300 milliseconds. We also made a phone call, and the latency in the phone call, you couldn't actually hear it. So it's, again, a great test. And after lunch, we came back and we let the agencies use MCX. So now they were pushing to talk, whether they were connected to our bubble, which at that stage was connected back to Dublin, because Air had connected into a chamber outside in the road and gave us connectivity into the network here. So now we had the bubble here connected back to an MCX in Dublin, and we were roaming on the Vodafone network. So some of the handsets were connected, some of them were connected to Vodafone, but they were all able to use the same MCX app, which is what should happen in reality if we had a part of the country that was isolated and a part of the country on a mobile network. Later on, we took an amplifier and built an in-car vehicle connected to that amplifier and did testing both on a car heading into the Westport and on a rib heading out into Clew Bay. And both of them were very successful. Now the agencies in the future will be able to get more connectivity farther out to sea than they would before this. When we went down to set up the satellite dish on the pier, there's a couple of use cases for that straight away. One is where you want to have an immediate bubble connected back to the core, and tomorrow we'll hope to use that for a search and reach. The other application we're using that for is almost immediately on Innisturk. So on Innisturk we're going to put a stationary one alongside the health centre, connected to the health centre, and use the power of the health centre to actually create the bubble. So the public health nurse can talk to the HSE. And that's why the HSE were there today looking at this to make sure that this was fit for purpose for them. What we're looking at here today is technology that allows each of the agencies have their own talk group so they can talk amongst themselves. But what we're also trialling and making sure works is that when two agencies want to talk together. So if ambulance are at a scene and they want to get the fire to arrive to help them, that they are able to do that, and that they can exchange either pictures, location, information that the other agency actually needs when they arrive, so that they're not waiting for it to be there and sort of say, what am I doing? It's there, they have it, they can arrive, be informed. We're back here at the end of day 2. It has been fantastic weather in Westport. This morning we decided to do a search and rescue, and that meant we brought our bubble with us on the satellite, and we had the interagency searching on the beach behind us here for a missing person. We saw great interaction between the agencies, especially here in the control vehicle, where one of the people told me that he almost felt this was real, that after the day of trying to get things working together, they now started to gel. And that really shows that the more times you practice something in PPDR, the easier it is to get it right. We actually had a plane fly over. It fed video down to us on one of the apps from one of the companies that we'll be talking later on. The plane was able to fly in tight rings and would have been able to give us coverage on the ground, Besides that, it gave us that thing that you can have the E-Node be up there, and that gets us to the point where we can say, maybe if we go up again to satellites and look at the same thing where the satellite is creating that space on the ground, and then we'll be able to connect our handsets to that and get a bigger bubble.